Hi, this is Tim and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Quick Escape by Pearl Jam, which is off the new album Gigaton. I've been up since about 4 in the morning transcribing this, so we're just going to get straight into it. So let's go! Okay, so this starts off with some drums and a bit of noise, and the guitar comes in with a kind of like a swell and a bit of a dive bar onto an E string, E note, 7th fret on the A string. And it moves into the main riff, which is just an E chord to F sharp, a variation of the F sharp. So it starts like this. Top 3 notes of an E chord, so it's this E chord here. You're using 9, and 7 on the top 3 strings. Then you move back to the D shape on the top, still on the top 3 strings, 6, 7, 6. Back to the E and then up to the F sharp. You just slide this shape up 2 frets. That's kind of the first half of the verse, and then you have the second half of the verse, which moves the same chord shape all the way up to the 12th position. So you have your first finger on the 12th fret, and you have 12, 14, 14. And you hit some harmonics on the 7th fret. And then you're back to that riff. Then you have a really cool little riff which is kind of a chromatic. Which is just starts on the 5th fret on the A string and runs up chromatically to the E. And then you hit the low E. Picking for that, I'm using strict alternate picking, so it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. See if we can just turn that in a little. Let's see if we get my picking hand. So it's down, up. Finishing on a downstroke on that low E string. Then we're into the chorus, which is just a C chord, C power chord, A power chord, E power chord. Then repeats it on the second time around, slight change. It's C, A, B. You can either play, I'm playing a B note. I don't think they're playing a full chord, I think it's just the note. And sliding up to the octave E. Difficult to hear if he's playing a full chord there. Or just the low E, I think it's the full chord. And that's the chorus. Back into the second verse, which is the same chords round. There's a little keyboard riff which is which follows this same chromatic riff that we just did before the chorus. Again, it's really difficult to pick out exactly what note he's ending on. Sometimes when I listen to it, it sounds like he's ending on an E. Sometimes it sounds like he's ending on a G. So those notes there, they're just 7, 8, and 9 on the G string. If you finish on the E, it's this low 7th fret on the A string. Or if you finish on the G, it's 10th fret on the A string. Then we have second chorus again. Oh, also on the chorus, I think there's also a guitar that does a harmonics at the 5th fret. You can kind of hear that coming in right at the back of the mix. Coming out of the second chorus, there's a little keyboard line which we can copy, which is just starting on the C note, 8th fret on the top E string, down to the 7th fret, 10th fret on the B string, 9th fret on the B string. And that kind of loops and crosses over the second, or I'd say the first guitar solo. Well, it's more of a motif. So the rhythm for that is... Then he does that again. It just finishes on the top E. Oh, sorry, the top G. 15th fret on the G string. So classically up. Finishing on the 16th fret on the G string. And then the second time round, does the same thing, but just doesn't go down to that note there, just finishes here. And then we have this little... So that whole phrase. And then you're into the, I think it's the third verse, which is again, it's the same as the first couple of verses. It's this triad being moved up and down. And now we're moving into the guitar solo. This is really cool. This is pretty much all based in E minor pentatonic. There isn't anything until right at the end that gives us an outside of that scale note. So we're kicking this off. To get the tone for this, there is a tiny bit of slapback delay. Very, very subtle, but it just gives it that doubling chorus kind of sound. And towards the middle of the solo, I'm not going to put it on this run through, but there is I think it's either a phaser, vibe pedal, or something like that. It's some kind of a modulation effect which is turned all the way up to like 11. Mike McCready's very, very fond of phasers and vibe pedals, uni-vibe pedals. It's very Hendrixy. So, and you're going to need a lot more overdrive. You're going to need a lot of overdrive for this as well. So, let's look at the first run. 15th fret, this is all based around a pentatonic, 15th fret bending up, 12th fret running down, the second one, then we're moving into a bend on the 2nd fret on the G string. And you're kind of doing some tremolo picking. Very loosely played over and across the beat. Very typical McCready. Barring across the 12th fret. 12, 12, 14th fret on the D. Now you've got this really rapid run, which again, this is played really loosely over the beat, and it's very difficult to pick out exactly what he's doing, but kind of the thing that you should take away from this is just this pattern here. So that's kind of what he's doing, and he's finishing off something like that. Again, like I said, it's really difficult to hear the ending of that because it's very muddy and very in the back of the mix. It's very difficult to pick out. But what I would take away from this part is just this run here, which is 14th fret on the G string, bending up, 12, 12, 15, 12. And you just repeat those, and then you just repeat those three notes. I'm hammering on and pulling off there. And I'm using two downstrokes, so it's down here and then down here. Then he kicks the modulation in it, and then he goes up to the 15th fret on the 15th fret on the top E string, and I'm going to say that it's an out of tune bend. He should, I think, be bending up to this A note. But he's kind of lingering in between. That little phrase there, which is quite cool. Now you've got this really rapid kind of bluesy run, which, listening to this really closely, it sounds like what he's done is he's done a couple of takes in the studio and they've sliced his solo up and glued it together, because it just sounds very unnatural when you listen to it, and when you listen to it in as much isolation as you can get. But it's something to the tune of something like that. It's something like that. This is a really cool little line. So you've got it's a really nice little phrase. So you've got a bend at the 17th fret on the top E string. And that's just 15 on the top E string down to the 17 on the B string. 16 on the G, 15 on the B, 17 on the B again. Nice little phrase, and then slightly swung kind of little riff, which is just 12, 15, 12, kind of a slide. You probably hit some open strings as well there. Again, this next section coming up definitely sounds like it's something that's been spliced together, because again it just feels very unnatural. Nice little phrase. Then you've got a little bend here. And again, you've got another one of these really rapid runs, based around the one that we did earlier. Finishing on this kind of double stop idea. Again, really difficult to hear it in the mix. So the rapid run again is the same kind of thing. It's there's a little bit of a whammy bar in there as well. I don't have one. If you do have one, you can use it. So it's in between those two phrases. Ooh. Ooh. That kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There is a tab down below for this whole solo, for the whole song. There's a couple of passages like these ones here, which he plays really loosely over the beat, so to try and transcribe it is very difficult. It's more of a case of just try and get it as fast as you can up to his tempo. What I would suggest doing is just trying this and just work up the speed. Just start it off really slowly. Just try that really, really slowly, and then build up the speed. Again, a couple of the phrases have a really kind of swung kind of feel to it. Just listen to the record, try and get your ear around it. Keep rewinding this video. You can slow it down. You can download the tab, which is down there, which is actually going to be for free. Pearl Jam are probably one of my favourite bands, so I'm going to do this one for free, which is great. We all love free stuff, so that's cool. I hope you got something from this, and I'm going to hand you back to other camera. So there we go, nice and simple. It's solo will take a little bit of work, a little bit of time, but it's yeah, it's quite fun. If you like this video and you got something from it, please give it a like, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. There's a button just down there, and you can get it from there. Yeah, and I will see you on the next video. I'm sorry, I'm just talking really quietly because first of all, we're all on lockdown, and second of all, everyone else is in the house, so I don't want to be too noisy. So I've got a mic here, so I can talk. I should have already done that. But yeah, cool. Thanks very much for stopping by, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.